Welcome to another episode of Straight Like That, the podcast hosted by me, Camille. Today we've got New York Red Bulls' very own Serge Ngoma. What's going on, man? Thanks for hopping on.
Good, good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. But first, let's shout out the sponsors. Tasty Mates, a gourmet gummy suite based in London, England. Organically made gummies that come in a few different flavors. They just recently put out a new passion fruit flavor. So be sure to check them out. Link in bio for that. And Club DS. Club DS is a streetwear brand based out of Los Angeles. The word DS means the number 10 in Spanish. And the number 10 in soccer is always the player that brings the most joy, creativity, and takes risks. Inspired by their Mexican roots and the number 10 in the beautiful game, Club DS created the mantra of Siempre con Alegría, which translates to always with joy. The message of the brand stems deep in the Los Angeles community, and the aim is to spread this message to other communities around the world. The mission is to remind people that no matter what you're going through, do it with joy. Life is full of ups and downs, but you will always be able to overcome any obstacle. A little bit of positivity, faith, and joy will go a long way. Siempre con alegría. Let's get straight to it, man. So how you get into football?
So my dad, he was a soccer coach and he coached my sister, right? And so he's from Gabon, which is in Central West Africa.
Hmm.
And they're pretty big on soccer and football. So um he took me along to training one day and it turned out that I was pretty good. And so he kept sort of, I guess, nurturing that talent. Yeah.
Yeah, so how old were you when you kind of started touching pitch?
I was like, I think 3 years old.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay. And then your
Yeah.
your sister, how old is she?
My sister right now,
Oh, well, I guess what's the age difference?
well, right now she's 23, about to be
Okay.
20, so, and then
Okay.
she's gonna be like 24 in November. So
So you had an older sister, so you were playing with her.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So how was the youth days? Kind of like was your dad really your coach? Were you playing like in those little rec leagues of, the
yeah,
fires and everything like that?
man. I was yeah. So I'm from North Plainfield, and
Hmm.
um, and so I was playing on the rec teams here, the rec teams in Plainfield, um, and yeah, playing at school. I was just any chance I got.
Yeah, yeah. And when you were playing, did you kind of realize like, damn, like I'm really good at this. Like I'm better than a lot of these kids on the rec team.
I mean, I feel like for me, I was like, so I feel like have been like pretty athletic.
Hmm.
So I was always like super fast and everything like that. But honestly, I wasn't even thinking about it like that in comparison to other people. I was just like playing
You were
and
just
having
having
fun.
fun.
And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. So when did it become kind of like more serious, I guess, to where you were like, yeah, okay, I'm good at this. I want to get better, so I got to challenge myself a little bit more.
Um, so I'd say maybe when I was like 5 or 6, my dad had taken me to the town like travel team, I guess,
Hmm.
and that was like my first like travel experience. I think six or seven.
Okay.
One or two. Uh, and so I started playing there, and that's when I guess started to take it a bit more serious, and it was like, all right, like I got to be a bit more competitive. I've always been like competitive, like even as a kid and when I was playing rec. But when
Yeah.
I was doing when I was started playing travel, I think I was like I really like I really love the sport, right? I obviously love playing it, but it became more so like wanting to win and wanting to be like, yeah,
Yeah. So that kind of travel team grew your competitive nature a bit more, huh?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So how was the next steps? So you're what, 7, stuff playing travel, you're
yeah,
getting to like closer to middle school and everything. Kind of,
yeah,
I guess the game got a bit more serious, huh?
yeah, yeah. So once I got to once I was on my travel team, I was there for a few years and or a couple years, and then we ended up playing um, NJ NJ Elite. I think they're now NJ Premier, and we ended up playing them. And I guess I scored and I played well, and so the coach, he ended up coming and talking to me and my dad, and um, wanted me to go and play with them. So I went and did like tournaments. I was a guest player a couple
Mm.
times. Um,
And which team is this for?
NJ Elite, NJ
Okay.
Elite. And at one point, I was playing for both NJ Elite and my town travel team, the Hayden
Oh
Boys.
wow.
So, like playing both. I'd play on Saturday, then Sunday. Sometimes I'd play and then leave at halftime and go to the other.
Oh wow. So really
Yeah,
you were
so
just
it was
playing
serious.
nonstop.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
was it only football when growing up or were you playing other sports as well?
So no, I mean, I ended up. I used to wrestle. I used to be a wrestler.
Oh
So
wow.
I did. Yeah, yeah. So I used to be a wrestler, and I did that. That would be in the winter.
Mm.
And then once the soccer season and stuff came back around, and I soccer. Yeah.
Was there ever like a thought of okay, I'm gonna give up football to, wrestle and
Nah.
focus on that? Nah, it was only football.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was like, I was really good I was honestly really good at wrestling. I think if I did wrestling, um, like 100%, and I was
Mm.
like training year round for it, I think I would have been really, really good. Or I would have been a lot better than I was, and I think I probably could have. I don't know. But for soccer, I think I had just that much more of a love for it. Like for me, it
Yeah.
was like I had a super deep connection with it. You know?
Yeah. 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 And so did it ever, I guess you're playing both of for these teams, right?
Yeah,
The travel team and then the NJ Elite team.
yeah.
When did you have to kind of pick
Um,
which one you're gonna
I
go full
ended up
time?
having to pick because when I was younger, so me, I have a very like expressive face,
Mm.
right? And so when I was younger, I used to get these really like big bags under my eyes,
Hmm.
and I'd be like super tired. And my mom, my parents, they were like, especially my mom, she was like, "This kid is like exhausted," you know. Like I was like tired all the time. So she was like, "All right, you got to pick between one of the teams and." What was going to be the best for my development and what was going to take me where I had to go was uh, was the Angelique. Yeah,
Yeah. So what was, I guess, that like going forward? Now you're full time focusing on NJ Elite and
yeah.
everything. How old are you at this point?
I'm like maybe 9. I think 9.
Oh, so this all escalated kind of fast, like
Yeah,
from
yeah,
3 when you started playing to 9.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
9.
all right.
Yeah, I was about like 9 because I was there until I was like 11. Well,
Hmm.
yeah, and then I went to Red Bull. Yeah.
Okay, so what was kind of that transition? Like, how did that all happen?
Pretty much the same thing, honestly.
Okay.
I went. Um, we ended up playing RDS, which is like the Red Bull development team. It's like the team underneath the academy,
Hmm.
and I ended up playing against them, and uh, we beat them, and we played them at like their at the training facility, and we had I guess a bunch of like the coaches and stuff from the academy came to watch the
Hmm.
game. Uh, and after the game, I scored a hat trick, and after the game, one of the coaches came and he spoke to me, my dad, and my coach, and he wanted me to come and train the next week. So I went and I trained, and then that week I signed to join in to the academy.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. So really everything kind of sounds like it's just quickly, next step, next
yeah,
step, next step.
yeah.
So you get to the academy at Red Bulls at what age?
So like 11, 11.
So you've been there since 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And you're what now? 19?
19. I'll be 20 next week. Yeah, this
Wow.
week. Yeah,
Okay. So what you're pretty much majority of your life has been involved with the Red Bulls. So
yeah.
talk to us about, just all of that from young, 11 years old, you're there. What's it like?
I mean, intense.
Yeah.
It's such a big, I guess, jump going. At the time, it was the USDA, it was the U.S. Development Academy, and
Hmm.
where I was, I think it was like EDP. Um, but the jump is crazy where you're playing better kids. Um, you're traveling more, right? But everything's like free, right? So
Yeah.
like, it's like you're doing all this, but your parents aren't expected to pay or anything, which is nice.
Hmm.
Um, but so it's like it's a different world going from EDP to the USDA,
Hmm.
especially with an MLS academy, and then the training and everything like that, and then the club. I mean, you see how we play in the
Yeah.
first team where it's super intense and a lot of pressure. I mean, that's ultimately how we played as well.
Wow.
Yeah,
And so what's like a day to day like at 11? Like how are you in school?
yeah. So I'm in school, or I was in school. I would go to class. We Our training would be normally like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night.
Okay.
And so I go to school, go home, get a snack. I do my homework in the car,
Yep.
um, so that I wouldn't have anything to do. Then my dad would come home from work, drive. I had to get to training like an hour and a half early. We go. We started doing film young. We started doing gym like
Wow.
before training, all that stuff. So we do that, and then I'd go have training, get home maybe around like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then back to it the next day.
So it was every day the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you guys would play on the weekend.
And then we play on the weekend. Yeah,
My God, that is intense. And this is year 11, 12 years old. Bro,
yeah,
11 and 12-year-olds, they're going to school, maybe paying attention, coming home, and then chilling.
yeah, yeah.
That so did you ever kind of like experience like FOMO, if you will, like damn, everyone else is doing something else and I'm, having to do this every day.
I'd say that I wasn't able to build those same, I guess, connections like
Hmm.
outside of school. Like people would go hang out and everything like that. And it was already I went to school, so I went to school in Newark, and I was living I was living somewhere else. But when I went to school, like I was already like far from like that community.
Hmm.
Um, so those so I wasn't able to really like hang out with any of the kids outside of school or do any of that or build those connections
Yeah.
outside of school. But when like as things like went on and I went to high school, I ended up going to I ended up doing online school. Right.
Okay.
So I so again I didn't have that aspect of like going and hanging out with people and doing all that stuff because things started to move, I guess, fast.
Hmm.
Um so yeah. I
Yeah, so
mean
talk to us about that. The whole
you have that feeling of like missing out and stuff like that. But yeah.
But yeah, because you just live in kind of a whole different life compared to like
Yeah.
other kids. So
Yeah.
you said you went to online school. When did that
Mhm.
happen?
That happened ninth grade. Ninth grade.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And so what was your, I guess, day to day like then? Because you're no longer going into a classroom. You're just, online.
Yeah. So we started doing trainings at like 2 o'clock and stuff like that. So once we
Mhm.
started doing that, and I missed my last year of school in eighth grade, I think I missed like 30 something, 40 days or something like that. And
Wow.
yeah, and so it was like close to me not being able to like graduate and
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
ninth grade just because of the days that I missed. Um, so we ended up, so my mom ended up just being like, all right, if like this is what you really want to do and you want to have like just time to train, do extra training and all that stuff. And my dad was on board with that as well. Um, and I took a lot from my mom because my mom's like an educator. So
Okay. Okay.
she works at Rutgers, and she does like the alternate route program where when like teachers or when people want to change their careers and go and be teachers, she helps
Hmm.
and facilitates that whole transition. Um, but so for her, her whole thing was all right. Both her kids are gonna go to college, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they're gonna go to school. She's gonna make sure like, but for her to be like, all right, if this is like something that's like really serious and like there's a pathway um to being pro,
Hmm.
like you're gonna need like the extra training and stuff like that, right? So she understood that and she was on board with that. So she found a good school for me to do.
Hmm.
Um, just to make sure that I was still getting my education.
Of course.
And yeah, so ninth grade started that, and I did that all the way through. But it would be train at 1 o'clock. We'd have a ride share. Train would come, car would come, drop us off. Boom. Yeah,
Wow. Okay. So your mornings were really you're doing the online school then,
yeah,
and then training at 2, and
yeah.
then when are you done?
We're done around like 4.
Okay.
Yeah, we're done around 4. But then I'd come home and I'd do stuff like my dad would take me to the field and we do extra training. So we do,
Damn.
yeah,
So really after school from basically 2 onwards, it was just everything football related.
yeah, yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Okay. So this is yeah, high school years. You're doing all of this. When did you start playing for not the senior team, but the one below that? Is it the Red Bulls
For
2?
yeah, Rebel 2.
Okay.
Um, so Rebel 2, that was like right after COVID. So right after my U15 year, yeah, right after my U15 year, or during my U15 year, COVID hit.
Hmm.
And so I come back from camp, from national team camp,
Hmm.
and like we went to training, and then the next day it was like, all right, like nobody like come in. And we were all like, damn, like, you know,
Yeah, what's going on?
yeah. And then so COVID hit, everybody's at home. Um, and I guess the second team and the first team, I guess, eventually like started having their sessions and everything like that.
Hmm.
And so I am 14 at the time, 14 or 15. And I start training with the squad or with the second team.
Wow.
So yeah, so I'm training with them, doing everything. And then when I turn 15, I make my debut.
That is so young.
Yeah,
14 years old, you train with them. And kind of how old are the people that are playing in Red Bulls two's team?
like I'd say like 20s, like I'd say like oldest maybe would be like 23, 24.
That's wild.
Yeah. I mean,
So
yeah, yeah,
how did you feel playing with like legit grown men?
it was different because I thought I was strong. I thought I was strong from playing like with kids my age and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I was like still strong, but I mean it was different. Like we had this one guy, Roy Boateng. This guy was built like a tank. Like it was crazy. I went up with a header one time with this guy, and I was like, yeah, never again.
Yeah, you learned your lesson,
Yeah,
right?
like never again. But no, I mean, yeah, it's the physical component is like one side of it, but then it's like the mental, like how quick you have to play
Yeah.
is the other one. Yeah.
So were you able to adjust quickly when you started training with them?
I think it took me about like a week or two. I'd say like it took me I'd say a week or two to like really get confident in that
Mm,
space. Right. And then like just to truly like compete,
mm.
say maybe like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. But
That's still
it,
quick as hell. That
yeah,
is real quick.
it was. I mean, it takes a little bit of time for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So let's backtrack a little bit. You just mentioned real casually
Yeah,
national team camp.
yeah.
Talk to us about that.
So I got so I guess you have like your like regional camps and everything like that,
Mm,
and then you had like this big, um, like I guess it was like 3 regions, I guess.
mm,
We went and we played against each other, and then we had like our first like actual camp
mm.
that I went to, and that was U15, and that was yeah
U15
U15,
camp.
yeah U15
Okay.
camp,
And so where
yeah
was the camp held? And
in Chula Vista,
this
yeah
is for the United States of America, the
yeah
national teams.
yeah.
So what was that experience like? How long was it? All that.
We were there for I don't even know honestly, I don't even remember, but I remember we played like this Mexican squad, um, and some other team, but
Hmm.
we were we might have been there for like maybe 10 days.
Hmm.
And it was in Chula Vista. That's like the Olympic where the Olympic I guess training center is.
Yeah.
And so we were there for that, and yeah, it was cool.
Man, that is
Yeah,
incredible. That's incredible honor right there. So
yeah,
once you got that, did that kind
yeah.
of like give you even more motivation, even though you're young, right? To
Mhm.
like, man, I could be on like the national team, like senior level.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you get that message in your email telling you that you got selected, I
Hmm.
mean, it's obviously an honor, because it's like
Hmm.
that's one of those things where you there's like so many kids in the nation, right? And there's so many people
Right.
that your age. Um, so for them to recognize that you're like I guess one of the best in that position, and then they
Hmm.
want to, they're one of the best in that position, but also somebody that they think can adapt to their playing style, right? To come in with such a diverse group of guys.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, that's an honor for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you make your debut at 15 with Red Bulls 2. Kind
Mhm.
of what was, the next steps going forward from there?
So Rebel 2 debut at 15. The next season I was with Rebel 2 full time.
Hmm.
Uh, and then after that, how old was I? I was still 15. And then after that, I after that I signed my homegrown contract at 16. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you sign your homegrown, do you train with the first team?
Yeah.
Okay, and then do you play with them like full time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
went to preseason. I went to preseason, and so my first camp, because that's also another jump going from second
Mm,
team to first team, and
hmm.
also still being 16. Um, so and like the speed of play, this is when like you had, what was that, 2022? They had like a lot of older guys.
Hmm.
Um, so it was a significant jump.
Hmm.
And so my first camp was was January in IMG, and it was like not my best, I guess, showing for myself. I was kind of like annoyed with myself just because
Hmm.
it was just getting up to the speed of everything. Also, I was playing like six, which I'm not a six, but I was like a filler player at the time. I
Hmm.
didn't really have a spot or anything like that. So I was there, but then um, we went to, what is it, Indigo Valley, uh, where we have the preseason in
In California?
Coachella. Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
Coachella. And and there I did better. I'm still playing six, but I mean I did better. And so I was like, man. And then we went to San Jose, and that was the first game of the season, and I ended up making my debut, which was amazing.
At 16.
Yeah,
That is insane.
yeah.
You're hitting all these accomplishments so early.
I know, yeah.
So early. So talk to us that first season with Red Bulls.
So that first season, I made my debut um against San Jose. Then the next game played against Toronto. Then after that, yeah, Columbus, somebody else. And then I ended up pulling my hamstring.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So then I started, this is like where like my injury sort of battle sort of going, like started getting a
Yeah.
little bit tricky. Um, but did that, and I was out for like a couple months, I think
Hmm.
2 months, two and a half. And then I came back in June, uh, played against LAFC. I played right center back.
They're moving you all over the place.
Oh my God. I played right center back, but I played right center back because our right center back got hurt, and so we had Tom Edwards,
Hmm.
and we had Tom Edwards and two Toms and Tom Barlow, and so Tom Barlow had already came out of the game, so it was me and this other kid, Stevie Sorwada, and like he's like a six, so but it was between me and him to go in like to go into the game. We were like the last two subs, I think.
Yeah.
And Tom got hurt, and they're like Tom Edwards got hurt, and they're like, all right, Serge, you're going in for Tom. And I'm like, I looked back, I said, like, Tom's on the bench. Because Tom Barlow was on the bench. I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit. I was like, are you sure like you mean Tom? They're like, no, like Tom Edwards. I was like, oh shoot. I
Going
was
in
like,
a right center back.
yeah, and then I went in. I had no idea what I was doing, but like I was just my whole thing was just don't let Carlos Vela score. And they didn't, but we lost anyway, but it was like the last 10 minutes. So I was like, all right. And yeah,
Yeah.
that was crazy.
What an interesting spot to put you in. Right.
I
This is
know.
after coming off of the
After coming off
hamstring.
my injury, yeah, yeah. But then we played midweek against what was that team? Against Atlanta.
Hmm.
And I went in, I played my action position,
Hmm.
and then I scored. That was when I scored my first goal.
Hey,
Yeah.
so look, on the weekend you play right center back. Midweek
Yeah.
you go play your real position and score.
Yeah. It's
What
like
what
they
what is
leave,
your
man.
favorite position? How about that?
My favorite position.
Mm.
So when I was in the academy, I was playing nine.
Okay.
But when I was in the like in the second team and with especially with the first team, I started playing more of like one of the like inverted wingers,
Hmm.
um like a wide 10, if you
Yeah,
will.
yeah.
So like um so either one of those positions, I guess I played that position so much more than nine that obviously I guess I'm a bit more comfortable there now than
Yeah.
playing nine. But I mean, if I play the nine or that, I'm fine.
Yeah, but we're not taking the right center back no more,
Nah,
huh?
that's not for me. I mean, shoot, if they need me to go and like there's like nobody else, shoot, I'll go. But like I'll do it for the team.
Right.
But nah,
But
I'm
if you got
hiding. If
options.
they call me, I'm hiding. Shoot.
So how was the rest of that first season with the Red Bulls, and then going
Uh,
into the
so
next season?
that was that. The rest of that season was all right. I mean, I scored
Mm-hmm.
2 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I ended up getting hurt, and it took me a long time to come back. I came back eventually for the last. I was back for the last game of the season against Cincinnati, which it was like the playoffs, and then I pulled my hamstring.
The same one?
Yeah, no,
Mm.
I pulled the other one. I pulled the other one in that game.
Damn.
So yeah, excuse me. So that was tough. That was tough for me.
Yeah.
Um, then then what happened? Oh, then it was like it was just a lot. Then the
Mm.
next year, I played one game because I dealt with the injury that whole season. Like I had
Really?
hamstring, quad, like you name it. It's crazy.
Wow.
And then yeah, and then the next season after that was last year.
Hmm.
Um, and I was like, I started off well, and I started off healthy. Um, and then I had again, I tore my LCL. Yeah,
Oh
I
wow.
tore my LCL on the outside unit, like the lateral crucial ligament.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I did that, and that sucked. So I was out for I think like I was supposed to be out 6 months. My season like it was supposed to be like all right, it's like Knicks is cooked.
Yeah.
And then, but I ended up coming back in like 3.5.
Hmm.
Um, and so that's sort of my injury history is it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then after that, I ended up coming back, and yeah, I mean this year has been pretty. It's been pretty good. I had like a little quad thing, but that was like a week and a half. But for the
Hmm.
most part, I've been
Been
really good.
healthy.
Yeah,
So during those
knock on wood.
that yeah, knock on wood. I'll knock for you too. During that stretch of just hamstring, quad, knee, everything, what
Mhm.
kind of like what did you do to, remain positive and stay up and motivated to keep going?
So I mean, I mean, you get your moments where you're like down and
Yeah.
I mean, it hurts. Like I mean, you you feel lost. Like
Hmm.
it's crazy. But for me, I had like my family, of course, but first and foremost, I had God, like my faith. That was something that really kept me going truly.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, my family, friends, uh, just everything, just everything like that. And then I have to find other interests outside of soccer, things that will try and make me, happy and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's a tough experience for sure,
Yeah. So what
especially being
was,
young.
yeah, because you were what, 17, 18?
Yeah, yeah,
Man. And obviously, good support system gets you a long way.
yeah.
But you were saying other interests outside of football. So what were those that were kind of keeping you happy?
So for me, I love like clothes and fashion
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So finding just different ways to wear different things and
Hmm.
uh, like for me, fashion is just like it's an expression of it's a way to express yourself through art. Like, because if you're not an artist and you don't paint, whatever, like you just put together different things, like
Yeah.
different fits of, and it sort of tells how you feel. Like what
Hmm.
colors you're wearing, just different things. Um, and so for me, that's one of the things that I found like a lot of joy in was fashion and everything, making clothes. Another thing that I really love is Black history.
Hmm.
So for me, Black history is like, well, I love my blackness,
Hmm.
and one of the things that my parents had instilled in me, especially in the world that we're in today, right?
Yeah.
And owning your blackness and being true to who you are is something that's super important, right? So for me, I try and I try and find different ways to express that, So whether
Hmm.
it's like my mom took me to this museum or this exhibit that's at Rutgers, or that they had at Rutgers, where it was like Angela Davis and just different things about just a whole bunch of different people, and it
Hmm.
was and it was really cool. So just finding out. I started reading books, right? I started reading, which is crazy. I used to be a really avid reader, to be honest,
Okay.
but I used to do it if somebody like asked me to, right?
Right.
So now I read on my own. So I read the Malcolm X autobiography. Right now
Okay.
I'm reading Nelson Mandela's autobiography. Uh, Other books like The Psychology of Money, just different things like that.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like it's cool. It's cool because you get to. I feel like reading is like meditation in a way where you just have your time and just sit and be at peace, right? And just
Yeah.
while learning about stuff, you know,
Yeah.
but you're on your own, which is cool.
Yeah. No, that's maturing right there. Because
Yeah,
I mean, I was the same way as a kid. Just like the forced summer readings, I'll do that. But like
yeah,
picking up a book just to read, man, I
yeah,
wasn't doing that. I started doing that maybe a couple years ago, honestly. I'd go in there, but it'd be a lot of those like self development books.
yeah,
So like,
yeah,
The Power of Habit, all those kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, I guess, I'll mature just a little later, huh? So yeah, you go through all these injuries and stuff. Was there like a goal in the off season of just trying to stay as healthy as possible?
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. I think for me, um, that's always I guess something that I think about
Hmm.
now. Just making sure that like thanking thanking God every time I come off the field healthy. So
Yeah.
that was one of the big things. I mean, I had a surgery um, right after the MLS Cup final. Uh, I had like it's like a sports hernia,
Hmm.
but so I had that, and so going into the off season for me, it was like, all right, get this done, and then make sure like I come back like really really healthy,
Yeah.
right? And so ultimately I did that. So I was
Oh
happy.
yeah. Yeah. So going into this season, you're healthy. How's this season been? I mean, so far, what we're halfway through almost.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been pretty good. It's been
Mhm.
pretty good for me. I've played a lot more than I played a lot more than I had previously. Um,
In your position?
yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
had played a lot more in my position
Hmm.
than I had previously. But also, I've been healthy. Like that's one of the main things. I've been healthy, and I feel like I've been feeling myself grow and take some pretty good steps.
Yeah. So you got about half this season left. What's some of
Mhm.
your short-term goals for this season?
So my short-term goals, get some more goals, obviously.
Hmm.
I think that's something that's important for any striker, but also just for the for the betterment of the team,
Yeah.
just so that we can get goals from everywhere. Um, what else? I'd say I want to be at the U20 World Cup.
And
Definitely,
when's that at?
that's in September, and that's
In
in January.
September.
Yeah,
Okay.
so like definitely a goal of mine. And like I was just at the camp in Egypt.
Hmm.
Um, not I think that was like last month, but yeah. So that's something that I really want. I want to finish the season out right
Hmm.
with my team, making sure that that we're collecting our points and and doing the best doing the best that we can, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, those
And
are some of the main
staying
goals.
healthy
Staying
throughout.
healthy.
Hmm.
Amen. Amen.
And how was that camp that you just went to in Egypt?
It was good. It was good. We
Yeah.
played Norway and Colombia. We were supposed to play Egypt, but they dropped out of the tournament. But we beat Norway. I mean, we beat Colombia. We lost to Norway first, and then we beat Colombia.
Okay. And what
Yeah,
was how was like, your time over there? Were you playing, were you
yeah,
feeling good?
yeah. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I played. I played 30 the first game and 30 the second game.
Hmm.
I started the second game, but I had like this sciatic nerve pain in like
Yeah.
my hamstring. And so like we didn't want to force anything and come back to the club and like I'd be um like and it'd be something and I end up getting hurt or whatever.
Right,
So
right.
so we played it safe. And yeah, so thank God I did and
Hmm.
now I'm okay.
Yeah. So was that your first call up to the national team camp since the first one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you were getting
Yeah.
back into the fold with
Yeah.
everything, huh?
Yeah. I've been called multiple times. I just was never able to go because of
Okay.
injury.
Hmm.
And that was always something that was really, really frustrating for me and added a bit more like just like I guess stress.
Hmm.
And so that was annoying. But I am yeah. So that it was really cool. It was really good to be able to go back and be able to be on the national team again, especially play against other countries, which
Hmm.
is like that was my first time playing against other countries, which was cool.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So when do you hear about the roster for the under 20s?
You know what? I forgot. I'm not gonna lie. They told us, and I actually completely forgot. I don't know. Whenever I hear about it, I hear about it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So if they call, then they asking for your services in the under 20s. You going?
Yeah, that's the goal.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I feel like that's such a once in a lifetime opportunity that it's like, yeah,
Yeah, well, we're gonna be praying for you. Stay healthy and
amen.
and get you over there for that under 20 World Cup.
Thank you, man.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir. So let's go ahead and talk about more about you, not the soccer player. How about that?
Okay.
Couple of get to know questions and all that.
Mhm.
First, let's do this. Big game coming up. You got your headphones in, right? Who you
Yeah.
listening to?
I used to be a big music, like I used to have like I'm a big music person, but I
Hmm.
used to be a big like, all right, music before the game person. I'm no
Okay.
longer like, that's not really, I don't know. Right now, sometimes like I watch a show before the game, or like I'll do I'll just listen to whatever's in the locker room.
Hmm.
But for the most part, I like calmer music. You
Okay.
know, I
Okay.
like calmer vibes for the game. Like I don't want to be too amped up. I don't want too much stress for the game. You know?
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Get you in that
yeah,
mode on some calm stuff. So who
yeah.
who are you listening to that's kind of on that
Listen,
vibe?
I'm throwing put on some Gibeon,
Okay.
some Isaiah Falls. You know,
Hmm.
something that's just like something smooth. You know?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that. All right. So now we're going into the same game with the headphones, right? What's the fit
Mm.
looking like though? It's an important match too.
Important match.
Hmm.
All right, so we used to do we used to like be able to wear our own clothes. Now we have to wear our stuff. But all right, if we could,
Yeah.
I'll do all right. Big game, I'd put on some pleated pants, pleated either black or tan,
Okay.
right? But they'd be like a bit like flowy, a bit like flowy. Not I don't wear anything tight.
Okay.
Uh, I'd say I put on some loafers, some black loafers.
Okay. I can see you thinking about this.
Yeah, yeah. Man, I tell you, if this is like a real scenario, I would have maybe like three outfits. I'd put them all
Uh-huh.
on, and then I'd be like, all right, and then I choose. But I'll call my
Okay.
sister and be like, all right, look, like, how's this look? This is look. uh, I'd say, hmm, maybe like it would be something knitted for sure up top. It would be like a, it would be some type of knitted shirt. It would be some type of knitted shirt.
Okay.
Uh, Short sleeve because I'm just thinking it's gonna be warm, you
Okay.
know, big game. Yeah,
See,
nice
you want to
looking.
know how I know you know fashion and you got a good one is
Yeah,
the fact that every piece that you just named
yeah,
is very specific.
yeah.
Pleated pants, knitted shirt, bro. A lot of people just be like,
That's a good.
oh, black tee, jeans, or
Nah,
some shit like that. No,
it
you
has
out
to
here
be. It has
saying
to
the
be.
fabric.
It has to be like, man. I've like in the past 2, 3 years, 2.5 years, I've gotten super serious about fashion. Which is like when you told me like Kellen, I was like, bro, Kellen, he puts it out for sure.
Man,
Like
I literally
his fits are crazy,
Bro, and it's
crazy.
honestly some of the stuff that he be putting on, I could never ever put on
Nah,
because
yeah,
it ain't gonna look right.
all right,
But I needed some black trousers, right? And I had
yeah,
no clue where to like search
yeah.
for some. What I do, texted, hey Kel, bros, can you help me find a pair of pants? When I
Yeah,
tell you this man sent me about 5 links and a whole
bro.
paragraph of like where to look.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got
bro.
it, bro. You got it. You're
He's
the flyest in the game,
yeah,
bro.
he's serious. He's serious, bro. I'm like, dang, like you know,
Yeah,
what I mean, I'm trying to get to that point. I'm trying to get. I got some time to get there, but
yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to get there for
Hey,
sure.
this is a perfect transition.
Yeah,
Top five, top five best dressed. Let's do in the league. How about that?
in the league.
Yeah, in the MLS.
Oh,
Because there's some swaggy people out there.
yeah, yes, there are. I'd say Kellen, Kellen for sure. Let me find
Yeah.
this guy.
It's crazy, man. By consensus, every single person got Kell in their top five.
Yeah, so Sebastian. How do you say his last name? I don't want to
Oh,
butcher.
Abiyaga?
Ibiaga, yeah.
Okay,
Bro,
yeah,
this
he a
guy,
fly guy, bro.
yo, this guy, crazy. Like his fits are. He has a whole like Instagram for his
I was
fit.
just about to say, bro, he made it
That's
on his.
that's actually crazy. Him, man, Kyle Duncan puts it on for sure.
That's your teammate over
Yeah,
there.
that's my team.
Okay.
Um, who else?
Are you throwing yourself up there?
uh, I'm getting there. Shoot,
Okay, okay.
I'm getting there. Um, but there's some people that's just been doing it, you know,
For a
a
long
bit.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I gotta pay my respects. Who else? I don't know. I mean, Chupo Moting, bro.
Yeah.
He's fly. He's fly.
Is he?
Yeah,
Okay.
like subtle. I remember. All right, first day he pulled up to the facility. Uh, this guy has his comes in his Louis Vuitton pants, um, and this like trench, and I don't know where the trench was from. It might have it might have been Louis Vuitton or I don't know, but
Something crazy.
it was something crazy. I was like, yeah, I was like, oh, that's a fit. um,
We need
and then
one more
I
then.
don't know who my fifth would be. I don't
Okay.
know who my fifth would be, but
Okay. We
I've
could we could
seen.
put you at five just for a placeholder.
I put myself in five, but I've seen like see that's the whole thing too where like because that'll be like my opinion because of what I like, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
what style I like. But like some people have different, I guess people have different styles, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So whatever somebody wears and however they express themselves, I mean, shoot, like you can't even knock it.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, yeah. For me, I
Yeah.
like the because I like a mixture of streetwear and then like luxury wear, I guess. You know,
I
where it's
see.
like yeah, like smart casual, but you know,
But fly.
yeah,
Yeah.
like not like a just a polo, some like some slacks or whatever. Like it has to be like something like
Yeah. Put
tough.
some thought behind it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, so let's see this. Who has been the hardest player you've played
Man,
against? Who's just gave you problems all game?
hardest player I played against. Mm.
Could be
Mm.
anyone, any from any team, could be from your own team in training,
And training?
anything.
Mm. You. I don't know. I'd say, you know, when Aaron Long, because this is when I was like 16, 17,
Hmm.
when when Aaron Long was with us.
Hmm.
So
Gave you problems.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a good to go against in training, just because like it really prepares you for you know. But I tell you, all right, because when you're on the subs team,
Yeah,
right? Like you're going against like the starters, like for our like more intense days,
yeah.
bro. Luquinhas, remember Luquinhas?
Nah.
Luquinhas, all right, he's this Brazilian guy. I've never seen somebody move more fast with the ball.
Let me look this up.
This guy, oh my god! I mean, he's short and like he's like close to the ground, but I mean, I guess that's his superpower because holy, this guy would dribble. I mean, he was quick.
Yeah,
I think he's like the best dribbler of a ball that I've seen. Like up close,
they just kept it
like
tight to him the entire time, huh?
yeah, like
Yeah,
he's
man.
just this guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, all right, all right. So that's so you're saying Aaron Long's is the hardest one you faced.
like defender. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then like a kind of attacker, skilly kind of guy, that's him.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So then who would you say is the best player you've played with at any level? Where you're like, wow,
Best
man, he just
player,
setting everything up.
best player I've played with. Man, I mean, I think now we have because I mean, we have. I played. So I've been fortunate enough to play with some really good players. Like we had Emil Chupo,
Hmm.
Lewis Morgan. He's tough. Um, and then like I said, Luquinhas. But I said Chupo's different class. Like
Yeah, he's been around
finishing.
doing it too.
Yeah, man, his finishing is really good. I mean, him and Emil. But I mean, all right, those three.
Hmm.
I'm gonna put those three because like for different reasons, bro. Lewis. his finishing, right, left foot. I don't even know what foot he is. Honestly, like I
Hey,
swear,
that's a huge compliment too.
like I swear, like I don't know if he's left footed, right footed, whatever. Like he takes pens, left foot, right foot, and it looks
Unbelievable.
seamless. Like it's crazy.
Man,
Chupo, like he's what, 6'4", six
he's a
five.
tall dude, man.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
moves well for that height.
He doesn't move like he's like six,
Hmm.
whatever. Like the way he played, like him with the ball is, I mean, crazy.
Yeah.
And his finishing is class. Like he's good, and he's so smart. He's so smart too.
Hmm.
And then Emil, same thing. Like Emil will do some crazy turn in training, and I mean he'll see things that it's like, all right, this guy's been
Just next level.
he's
Yeah.
seen so many different situations that it's just like,
Yeah.
so yeah, and I've put the Austin in thing for sure.
All right, so you got those three.
Yeah,
All right. So let's have some answers for this. Future aspirations. So we
yeah.
know we've heard about the U20 World Cup coming up in September.
Hmm.
How about let's go beyond that in a couple of years from now. Let's say you get to 25, right?
Yeah.
Where's Serge gonna be at 25?
Oof. I don't know. Shoot. Right now, I pray to God at 25 I can say that I won the
Okay.
MLS champion with the Red Bulls,
Hmm.
a hometown team. And then I don't know, from there, wherever God takes me, honestly,
Beautiful
because
answer.
one of the things that I've learned in the past years, whatever you can have, whatever plan you have for yourself, um, in that time, and obviously, like I want to play Champions League, I want to do this, I want to do that, whatever. I think for me, it's whatever God's plan is for me. Shoot, I'm gonna be following that plan. That's
Beautiful.
gonna be at 25.
Yeah, that's a beautiful answer. And then lastly, greatest piece of advice you received.
Greatest piece of advice I've received. I'd say, all right. So when I was first joining the academy,
Hmm.
um, Jesse Marsh was the coach of the first
Hmm.
team, and he came to me, or not to me, to everybody, like everybody that was coming into the academy at the time,
Hmm.
and he gave like a little like just like introduction, da da da. And one of the things he said was, great people make great players, right? And that's something that stuck with me because I feel like in this space and everything, like even at the level that we're doing it, you get a lot of you like there's a lot of benefits, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of those benefits probably can go to your head. I
Hmm.
mean, you feel like VIP every day,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Everything that has to do with the team is sort of like just centered around the players, right? When you
yeah,
go on trips, like it's your free hotels, you do this, that, whatever. And I feel like a lot of players, a lot of times, I feel like you can probably get caught up in that space and be like, all right, like I am better than whatever this person, that person. Like I'm
yeah,
more important. I think that in this world, everybody's important, and I feel like once you lose sight of that and you're treating people however you want to treat them, right? I
hmm,
think that sort of takes away from you being, like for
yeah,
me, I'm not a, I try and, or one of the things that my family is always trying to make sure is that me and my sister always treat people with respect, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And obviously, if you don't give me respect, then like you're not going to get that from me.
Right.
But like just making sure that I continue to have that is something that, yeah, that's something that's really stuck with me,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
and it takes
Remaining
you
humble.
and it takes you far, you
Hmm.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
remaining humble and just treating others the way you want to be treated. Simple, man.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Serge, thank you for jumping on this pod.
No, of course.
Giving us time, sharing
Yeah.
stories, man. I know people gonna love listening to this, and we
Yeah.
wish you the best. Stay healthy. A lot of
Thank you.
success on the way, man. We're gonna follow it
Thank
for
you, man.
sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.